Hi, this is Andrea from the Chamber, and I want to welcome Corey DiMaria from Core for Complete Fitness. He is our guest for our seminar series this week, and he wants to talk about the biggest myths in fitness and how to maximize your workouts for best results. So this is definitely something that you want to listen to, especially since it's the new year. So
Tis the season.
tis the season. So go ahead, Corey, whenever you're ready.
So kind of like what we touched on, I know 2020 was extremely rough for pretty much every single person on the planet. And there usually is the starting off the new year, everybody has new resolutions, they want to get in shape and all that, but especially after the year that we had last year, it was probably the COVID 10, 15, 20 pounds, even some people put on. And first of all, it's not just you, it's a ton of other people as well. But I wanted to go over this stuff just to kind of steer you guys in the right direction if you do really need help getting in shape, especially with just the new year and with all the stuff that happened last year. That's my goal for you guys. So the first one I wanted to talk about was a lot of people when they start off is they have this big picture that they want to lose or get in shape or whatever your goals are. If you want a six-pack or you need to lose 20 pounds, 10 pounds, they really think they all have to do it at once, and they tend to put a lot more on their plate that they can handle. So for instance, if you wanted to lose, let's make up a number and just say 30 pounds, in 6 months, and people tend to go, okay, it's January 1st. I got this big goal. I need to eliminate soda out of my diet. I can't have any carbs. I'm not eating any cookies. I'm going to eat just chicken and celery. I'm going to work out twice a week, and which all sounds great for the first week. But after that, you're like, there is no way that I can maintain this for these 6 months. So what we usually recommend to people is it's okay to have these steps that you're taking, but tend to break them up into smaller, more attainable goals. So for instance, if you are a pop drinker, week 1, just eliminate soda from your diet. And once you feel comfortable with that, after 2 weeks, if you do go to fast food a couple times a week, go, okay, now I'm going to take away fast food for weeks 3 and 4. Once you kind of feel comfortable and you adjust it to that, okay, now I'm going to start whatever it may be, cooking at home 3 days a week. But you're setting yourself up for success that way, and you're letting your body kind of adapt instead of going, okay, I'm going to throw all this on myself at once, on top of trying to work, on top of trying to deal with a family. It gets to be a whole lot for your body to handle. Whereas this way, you kind of do something for a couple weeks, adjust. Once you're comfortable, then you kind of just move down the ladder basically like that. And it just makes it much more attainable, much more sustainable, so you can actually meet your goals instead of going, all right, I got to throw in the towel after a week or two, basically.
So this might be a question for another time, but I'm looking at gaining weight.
Okay.
How can I
no problem to have
mass as well?
So the biggest thing is when you're looking to gain muscle tissue, it's eating the right stuff. And a lot of it is the majority of people that we see need to put on muscle is they're very, very underfed, and more specifically, more underfed in protein. And protein is usually one of the toughest things to get into your diet because usually you have to cook it. Everything that's quick and readily available is usually packed with carbohydrates. It's usually, comes in a wrapper that you can rip open, pop in your mouth, and you're good to go. So what I usually recommend is your 3 major meals and 1 snack a day. Always in the back of your mind, just say, I got to make sure I'm getting protein with this. And usually that'll get you pretty darn close to your goal by the end of the day. So if you have a snack, just make sure you can get around maybe 15 to 25 grams of protein. Same thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make sure you're getting about 15 to 25 grams of protein. Then by the end of the day, that should get you probably around 100. And that's pretty darn close to where you should be at the end of the day with your goal. Usually they say about, I think it's 0.7 grams of protein per pound of your body. So you can just kind of ballpark it around there.
Okay.
And weight training too is the
So
big.
also my question is, right. That's what I was kind of asking is, I'm 40, so is it harder for me to get muscle mass?
Yeah, so good question. The older you get, guys and girls, the older you get, the tougher it is to keep and maintain muscle mass, which is why it's important to not just do cardio, but to actually do some strength training as well. And I work out every day, and I have, it's a good problem to have, but I've looked the same since I was like 22 years old. And I don't have these gigantic muscles or anything like that. But the reason is because I've always done this type of training where I try to basically high intensity interval training, where you're working the muscles, but you're working them in a way to where your heart rate is going to pick up as well. And so you're going to burn fat and build muscle at the same time. But I know, especially for women, one of the biggest misconceptions is that I'm going to work out and I don't want to get these big, bulky muscles. And if you think of your body kind of like, basically, it's like a machine. If you lift heavy stuff over and over again, your body has to build heavier, stronger, denser muscles to support that. So you always want to pick a weight that's challenging. You don't want to go super duper light to where you're not feeling anything, to where the muscle's going to be able to fatigue. But you don't want to go super duper heavy to that. Then your body has to compensate and go, oh my God, I'm lifting 150 pounds all of a sudden. I got to kind of stock up a little bit. So something usually between the 12 to 15 rep range. Usually you want those last 4 to 5 reps to be challenging, not impossible. But that'll still get you really good results to where you're going to be able to build muscle. And the more muscle tissue you have, the more lean muscle tissue you have, the harder your body has to work to preserve it, which then raises up your metabolism and then decreases your body fat. So you want muscle, you want the right muscle, lean muscle, and that's ultimately how you kind of get that nice physique where the body fat goes away and the muscle is there to stay. Very good question though.
I got a question. So like, how often should you be like lifting weights and cardio? What should be the balance between like cardio, weightlifting for people?
That's another good one. So I know everybody kind of has a different training methodology. What we do at Core 4 is we do kind of a combination of cardio and weight training every day, but every day has a different focal point. So for instance, if Monday was a leg day, we're going to be working the leg muscles. We know Tuesday, your legs are going to be pretty sore and they're going to need a rest. So Tuesday might focus more on the upper half. And then we know on Wednesday, your arms are going to be tired. So Wednesday might be a core focus. The next day might be cardio focus. Someday it's a full body workout. But that way, every day kind of like complements the previous one. And you're giving your muscles time to rest, which is the biggest thing. It's in the resting and recovery that people actually see results. So what happens is if you're just doing a full body weight session on Monday and on Tuesday and on Wednesday, you're breaking down the muscle, but you're not giving it enough time to repair itself and heal itself. And then what happens, that's when people get sick and they tend to overtrain. But cardio, it's one of those things to where you can really do it until you're blue in the face. I know a lot of people, they like to go for bike rides, they like to go for walks, they like to go for jogs. And if that's your thing, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But the weight training, 3 to 5 days a week is what I usually recommend for people. Give yourself usually a day or two off a week just to take a complete chill pill. Like I said, you can still go for a walk or a bike ride or be a little bit active, but there is something called overtraining that where you're working, let's say 8 to 12 hours a day, and then you're going home and you got to do family stuff. And then you go, oh my God, I got to get to the gym. And then maybe you didn't get enough sleep, and all that kind of has this snowball effect that just keeps growing. And then you're more prone to being injured or getting sick and stuff like that. So 1 day a week, give yourself just a nice, easy, relaxing, low stress day. And then you're able to actually work out harder and better the next day because your body's well rested and you're not, just beating yourself down a little bit too much.
It's good advice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to think. What else do I have, guys? And then to kind of piggyback on that, with the working out, and selecting, you know, your schedule and when to work out and how to do it, the very, very important thing is if it's not going to work with your life and your lifestyle and the time you wake up and the time you go to bed, don't try to fit, you know, the square peg in the round hole. Just like we talked about with the stuff you're doing for a week, you know, you can try and try and try, but after a week, if you're like, there's no way I can sustain working out like this or this schedule for 6 months, if ultimately the goal is to change your life and be healthy forever, you know, what's the point of spinning your wheels for 6 weeks if you know on week 7, there's no way I'm going to be able to sustain this. So, you know, if you're more of a morning person, don't make yourself work out at night. If you're more of a night owl, don't force yourself to wake up early in the morning and work out. Do what works best for you. And the more that you are enjoying the journey and you enjoy what you're doing and you like the workouts and you look forward to it. If I'm not a morning person and I dread waking up to go work out at 6 a.m., it's like, all right, well, how long am I really going to be able to do this before the real me kind of begins to take over, basically. So you really just got to find kind of what works for you and your lifestyle. Don't force it upon yourself. The first couple weeks are always just a little bit change while you build up a new routine and things like that. But after that, you know, the real you is going to shine through eventually. So making sure whatever you do that it does work with your life and work with, you know, the current habits that you have as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would never work out at night. I'm more of an AM person. So
yeah, and it does. There's people that are just the people that come at 5:30 in the morning. I mean, they're here with bells on, and like, I know myself, like I need to have coffee. I gotta kind of just get myself amped up and ready to go. But for them, I mean, it works out great. They're ready to rock and roll. But you do have to kind of listen internally to that internal clock and go, okay, this is what's going to work for me. And then to kind of piggyback on that in relation to just the working out time and what times work for you. I know a lot of people think that working out, and it's the same thing. If they go, okay, I want to get in shape and do all this stuff, I'm going to work out for an hour each day or an hour and a half each day, and really put myself through the grinder. And just because you're working out for a longer period of time doesn't necessarily mean that your results are going to be better. And there's a couple reasons. And one is because your body really can't sustain that intense exercise for a longer period than, let's say, 30, 40 minutes. And they've hooked up people to EKG monitors when they're exercising, and they did this hour study. And what they found was when people know they're going to be doing something for an hour that's going to be a little taxing on their body, they kind of made this mental note, and they said, well, it looks like, according to all these EKGs, they go, people really only pushed it for the first 15 minutes. They got tired. And they go, God, I got 45 minutes to go. And those next 45 were drastically worse. Or the opposite, they kind of coasted for the first 45 and they were like, hey, I'm almost done. I'm going to start to just really give it my all now that the finish line is in sight. And so what they found was if you can shorten the duration but raise the intensity, you're going to get a lot better results. And it just kind of resonates with people more when they go, okay, I'm only going to be here for 30 minutes. I got to give it my best effort. It's going to be done quickly, rather than, oh, I'm going to be here for an hour. That's a long time. I'm really just going to try at the end or at the beginning and really kind of take my time with it. So longer doesn't always mean better. It's the effort that you give. It's the intensity that you give for the workout. But if you can do 30 to 40 minutes of just really high intense, give it your best effort. You don't got to make yourself throw up. You don't got to go super duper crazy and lift 800 pounds, but whatever that is to you, you know, at an 8 out of 10, the entire 30 minutes, you're going to get way better results a lot quicker as well.
So do you want to talk a little bit about what Core for Complete Fitness would entail? Like if I grabbed a membership and had a trainer and all that stuff. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So everything we do here, kind of to touch on what I did, everything we do focuses on keeping and preserving the muscle tissue on your body. You'll get a little bit stronger, but solely get rid of body fat. So the way that we do our schedule, kind of like I talked about, if it's an upper body day today, we know your upper half's going to be tired, and we know you might want to work out tomorrow too. So tomorrow we might focus more on legs. If your legs are tired, we might focus more on abs the next day, but every day kind of complements the previous one. So if you did want to work out 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, you know it's always going to be safe, and we're going to take care of you, and you're not going to jeopardize injury by training the same muscle group over and over again. And then we re-scramble every single week. So you guys have probably heard this, but reaching like a plateau with your body, where the things that were challenging when you first started, after about 3 weeks, no longer become challenging because your body's kind of adapted to it. So every single week, we take the week and we completely reshuffle it. So if it was, let's say Monday was an upper body day, Monday next week might be cardio. So your body never gets into this adjustment period. It's kind of having to reconfigure and recalibrate everything. And then as far as the workouts themselves, every workout is completely different. So once you guys do one, we throw it out. You guys will never see it. It'll be some of the same movements. Like we'll still do squats and push-ups and all that stuff. But we completely flip it every time. So again, your body's having to kind of readjust, recalibrate, where it's never getting in this kind of comfortable feeling. It's always trying to, okay, push-ups, we're doing it with let's say reach in the sky now. Now we're doing a push-up with a row. So your body's always kind of have to reconfigure and learn everything again, which makes it challenging, and your body never gets used to it, which means you're going to keep seeing results no matter what. But we've had members here since we've opened for 5 years now that have still never repeated a workout. And it keeps you mentally into it too, where you go, you know, I know Monday's not going to be the bicep curls followed by the rows again. It kind of just keeps it fresh for you. So every day that you come into the gym is always completely different.
And you guys are still located in Mill Plaza? Is that?
We are, yep, we're right. If you know where Charlie's is, we're in the same plaza as Charlie's, right on the back side. If you know where the Milford Waterfall is, we're like right smack dab in front of that, kind of right in the corner there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know they've been doing some improvements in that with that area, so that's very cool.
Yeah, it took a long while, but gladly everything is done. The building does look great. I was kind of wishy-washy. I'm like, I don't really know if it needs all this stuff, but seeing it now, I mean, they did a complete 180. It does look fantastic. So yeah, we got a little facelift.
I have a quick question, please.
Sure.
Yep, go
Do
ahead.
you have different levels for people who come in? Say if I've been out of shape and I come in, I don't want to jump in with these younger people. Do you have different levels to help people?
Good question, Joan. So the way that we do all of our programming is, we know, just like you said, everybody's at different stages in their lives. Some people have worked out, let's say, for the past 10 years. Some people haven't worked out in 10 years. Somebody might have a bad shoulder. Somebody might have a bad knee. So the way we design our workouts, one, the workout floor is padded. So it's kind of cushy. So when you walk or do sit-ups, it's comfortable for you and it's great on the joints. But the other thing, instead of basing it off of a repetition scheme, everything that we do here is based off of time. So for example, instead of like coming into a gym, and whether it's day 1 for you or day 1000 for somebody else, it would be unfair if we were like, okay, today everybody's going to do 30 squats followed by 40 push-ups followed by 50 sit-ups. Where to the person that's been there for 1,000 days, he's going to go, okay, no problem. But for somebody that's day 1, that is like climbing a mountain for somebody who's new, especially if their muscles aren't used to working that hard, especially that quickly on. So the way that we do our workouts is it's all based off of time. So we say, okay, station 1, we're going to do push-ups for 30 seconds. In those 30 seconds, If you can only do 4 push-ups or 5 push-ups on your first day and you got to shake out your arms a few times, that's okay. If you've been coming here for a year and you can do 20 push-ups in 30 seconds, that's okay. So even though we're working out together, everybody's able to go at their own pace and their own intensity the entire time. And then we basically give you guys for each movement kind of a plan A and B. So let's use push-ups again, but if push-ups, you're going from the toes. If it's somebody starting off who hasn't exercised in a few years, we'll say, okay, option A is from the toes for push-ups. Option B is from the knees for push-ups. Same thing. If we're doing like a jump squat, if somebody has bad knees, okay, you can do a jump squat if you want, but plan B for this one is just a regular squat in place. Keep your feet planted. That's going to take away some of the impact on your joints. So even though, again, we're working out together, everybody's going at their own intensity, at their own pace the whole time, which evens the playing field for everybody there.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a good question, Joan. I was interested in that too.
Well, when you get old like me, you got issues you have to deal with.
No, and they all come and go, and it is. The older you get, there's clicks that happen out of nowhere, and you'll wake up. There's days I wake up from bed and I'm more sore than when I went to sleep, and I'm like, all I did was sleep tonight. How is my hip hurting now? So it is. You do got to find just ways sometimes to work around it, but there's days that even our staff feels great or I feel great, and the next day's kind of a 180, but you got to just go be smart about it and just go, okay, if my knee's bugging me today or my hip is bugging me today, I still got to make sure I exercise, but safely, and there's always a way to work around it.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is
Mona.
like, because there's times that I just don't feel like working out, but I know I need to. What is a good, just like a workout, but that's not a workout type of a thing to do? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like you want to work out, but you have no motivation to do it. So is there something that like some like little tricks to help you trick yourself into getting motivated to work?
Oh, there is a thing that we get this phone call a lot where they go, I want to work out, I want to get in shape, but I need you guys to motivate me. And what I tell people is there is something that we anchor into people here at the gym, and it's called finding your why. And it's when days get tough where you're tired or you don't feel like it. If you have like a little spark in your body, we can make that grow into this big inferno of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do this because I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. But the why or the motivation thing has to come from you. And no matter what it is, we can want you to maybe get in shape and lose 10, 15 pounds or get washboard abs or fit in the dress that you want. But if there isn't this moment inside where you go, all right, today's the day I'm doing it. So I usually tell people if you're lacking the motivation, everybody wants to look good in a bathing suit. Everybody wants to look good with their shirt off and fit into their jeans and their dress. But finding that thing to where, just like you said, when the going gets tough, or you might not want to work out. One of our challenges last year, for an example, I was going, okay, anchor down your why. And this one lady said, just like I did, oh, I want to look good in a bathing suit. I want to do this. And I was like, yes, but that's very, very vague. I go, kind of peel back the onion more. And she goes, I want to look good in a bathing suit because I want to get back at my ex-husband after we split up. And I was like, that is a perfect thing that when the going gets tough, that you're going to be able to tap into and go, okay, this is why I'm doing it. So that thing, we have some people write it on their mirror and lipstick. Some people put it on the fridge. But when the going gets tough, what is that thing that's unique to you that's really going to help kind of push you through to the other side, basically?
Mm-hmm. Nope, I completely agree.
That makes sense because I love working out and I love how I feel when I work out. But there's days when I'm sitting like, I need to go walk the dog. And I'm like, oh, I can just let him out in the yard. He'll run around.
Yeah, but there's a fitness quote that says something. It goes, if people only worked out on the days they felt great, nobody would work out. It's the days that you're going, all right, I gotta just do it, and then you feel, like you said, you feel fantastic afterwards. But it is that initial. It's like the angel and demon on your shoulder thing where it's going, you can work out, you can go do this, and the other one's going, no, just sit for 5 minutes. But when I have that reflection period and I'm thinking about it and I'm debating, I go, okay, I'm already thinking about it. Within 10 minutes, I gotta just do it. Because otherwise 10 turns into 20, 20 turns into 40, then it's almost an hour. And then by then I'm a lost cause. So once you have that little inclination, like you should go do it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, have your shoes on, be ready to go. And then, you know, you'll be done with it.
Makes sense.
But I'm trying to think, what else? I'm trying to think of all my little tricks of the trade with you guys. And also kind of like we touched on to piggyback on that, it's make it something that you like and you enjoy doing. If it's something dreadful, if it's something that you don't want to do, it's going to be, you're just going to fight it tooth and nail every single time. But even with like our sessions at the gym, the reason why people, I think, enjoy coming and come as frequently as they do is because it's high energy, the music's cranked, the trainer's on the microphone, they get to see all their friends here and they look forward to it, and they want to come. Part of it is because they know their friends are going to call them out if they don't show up, but they do look forward to seeing everybody and feeling good after, and the workouts are fun and the music is cranked and they leave here feeling better than they went in. And you get that big endorphin rush after where you feel great, you're in a better mood. And then that just kind of becomes your new normal basically. And then you feel bad missing out on those moments after a while, instead of trying to push yourself, you know, like I have to do this. It becomes something that you want to do.
I got a question. Like, 'cause I know that's something that, you know, with all the people getting together and everything, and with this pandemic time, what is a good way to kind of get yourself comfortable going into large groups or into smaller groups to be working out? Because I know I take care of my 85-year-old mother, so I'm like terrified. I don't need to bring a death sentence home to her.
Yeah, no, I know. And we have, we do two things at the gym. So normally we always rotated around from station to station, and it was a group, and we got 10 stations or 5 or 6 stations set up. There might be 10 to 12 people in the workout, and it was kind of organized chaos. We go, okay, you're going to go from the battle ropes to the suspension trainers to here to there. Now what we did is we had to take a lot of equipment away, but basically everybody has their own personal setup. So everybody has a 6x6 workout square that's specifically for them, and whatever they're going to be needing that day is going to be waiting for you inside your square. So if it's going to be a workout with resistance bands and kettlebells, you have your own personal setup there. So there's no cross contamination. You're not going to be walking next to somebody, walking in front of anybody. And each square is 6 to 8 feet apart at all times. So there's more than enough room where it's safe. And then the other thing that we do is we do on-demand workouts too. And just like you said, Mona, we know everybody's world is kind of flipped right now. But people, just like yourself, they go, well, I still want to work out. What do I do? So if people can't make it in the gym, we shoot the video that we're going to be doing that day, a day in advance. We film it with our staff, and we upload it into our gym's Facebook group so they can follow along at home. And we try to make it as similar as we can to what the workout of the day is going to be inside the gym. But that way, if they did want to follow what we're doing every single week, if it's supposed to be an upper body day on Monday, they can work out at home if they feel more comfortable with their own equipment. Or if people, you know, I know kids were home for a while, so that way they can kind of get the best of both worlds. You can work out at home, you can work out at the gym, and have it be as close to us, you know, similar experiences as humanly possible, basically.
Okay. How's that work out for? I have a hard time going by video. I don't know why that is, but it's easy to slack off when you're by yourself in the basement.
No, a lot of people do, but it's definitely different, and there's all walks of life with it. Some people said it was their saving grace. They loved it. It was so, you know, it was so fantastic to be able to do it at home. Some people need to literally be in the gym because they just seems like they can't get to that next level. But again, you have to do what works best for you. You have to adapt to what works best for you. If we try to, force something down your throat that you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this, then it's usually not going to work long term. And then the other one is giving yourself kind of time to develop the habits. So I think they say it takes 3 weeks or like around 21 days to really get in a good routine. So even though it's different, usually give it 3 weeks. And after 3 weeks, if you're like, hey, this isn't clicking with me, then kind of go, maybe I should focus on something else. But a lot of it too is with working out at home. A lot of us are home all day already. And then you're like, the last place I want to be to work out and blow off some steam is still staying at home. So it's nice for a little change of pace. It's nice if you do have to care for somebody, or if you're going to be around people that you don't want to get sick, especially now. But yeah, you just got to kind of find what works best for you.
All right, thanks.
You're very welcome.
I think we lost Andrea.
I was going to say, she vanished off the map.
She
Oh,
blew
looks
away. She's so thin.
There she is.
You can have some of my weight if she really needs it.
See that? Instant results.
I know what you mean, because when I go to my gymnastics, I've been in gymnastics since I've been 4 years old, and it makes a difference to go down and be with these people, which my whole life I've been with. And
Yeah.
It makes a difference. You get there and you go, oh, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Before and after, just seeing humans, which we've
Yeah,
been
being
so
around
deprived.
people and seeing your friends, and like you said, that big endorphin rush you get after. And even when you're exercising with other people, I mean, it does kind of set the bar always a little bit higher for yourself. So if I am at home, I'll know, okay, I have to do 10 sets of this or that and the other thing. But once you're kind of around your friends and you're like, hey, Susie Q over there is whipping my butt at this, I know that I'm better than that. I got to be able to kind of step it up. And then that's where you get even better results. So it is. I think humans need a little bit of social interaction, which has been tough right now. But it is. I know everybody's world is not what it was 365 days ago. So you just have to find what works best for you. But that's why we kind of do the in-gym stuff and the on-demand stuff to kind of cover both realms. So everybody always feels comfortable and, they're able to kind of pick and choose what works best for them.
Oh, look, Andrea blew back in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet here. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We're not getting recorded anymore. That's a good thing.
Oh no, we're still recording.
Oh. Oh, crud. I didn't see the little red dot up on my screen.
You guys have been on good behavior.
So what kind of tips do you have for like nutrition and working out? Because I know you said you talked earlier about like doing the proteins and stuff like that. What are some good, everyone always says that, but like what are some good examples of protein and stuff like that would be kind of good and easy to keep in mind? Yeah,
so with nutrition and stuff, kind of like with the working out, is if it's something you can sustain, don't try it, because it's just going to set yourself up for failure. And then when that happens, you tend to get more down on yourself. I know like everybody was big with the keto stuff for a while, or the Atkins stuff or whatever it may be. But if you know that, you like to have a couple glasses of wine on the weekend, or you go out for ice cream every weekend, then don't attempt to do something that you go, I can't live like this. So what I usually tell people in terms of eating is break it down from very complex into very, very simple. So the proteins, there's, 101 ways to get in protein. But really, if you're only comfortable in the kitchen with 5, break it down. Like for me, would be chicken, ground turkey, let's say hamburger meat, steak, and, tilapia. Those are my 5 things that I know I'm good with. Otherwise, you know, you can look up any recipe online that goes make this with this and that with that. But protein, like we talked about, major meals, always try to get in protein, and 1 to 2 snacks a day, always try to have in protein. Greens, veggies, especially the green ones, that's kind of your get out of jail free card. So let's say you were at dinner and you had, you made yourself dinner, you had a chicken breast, you had, let's say, a sweet potato, and you're like, you know what, I can still eat some more of this broccoli or whatever it is, spinach. Load up on the greens until the cows come home. That's going to give you a lot more bang for your buck. It's going to be high in fiber, super low in calories, so it's going to fill you up for a lot less. But like I said, do what works best for you. And that's usually some of the toughest part for people, is because it is, you type in diet on Google and 8,000 things come up. So what I recommend is something, almost eliminate the word diet from your vocabulary and turn it into, how do I eat like this for the rest of my life? How do I stay healthy for the rest of my life? And that doesn't have to be living in this box of I'm only allowed to have this and I have to completely eliminate this thing from my realm in my brain. I can't ever have a cookie or a Pop-Tart, but you have to make it work for you. So, you know, if Monday through Friday you're eating like you should and Saturday's your night to get pizza with the family, don't feel bad about it. You know, you still have to enjoy your life, but just making sure when Sunday or Monday comes, okay, I got to get back on my routine again. Otherwise it feels like you're trapped in this box and you're looking around and going, why is everybody having so much fun? I'm not allowed to do anything or eat anything. And then you get down on yourself, and that's where the stress eating comes in. So making sure you're able to enjoy those moments. If you're at a wedding or a birthday party or it's a date night and you do want to go out and kind of pig out a little bit, you know, that's a normal part of enjoying life. But just making sure the next day I have goals, I have a routine, I need to make sure that I'm staying healthy. If I wanted to lose 10, 15 pounds, that goal is still waiting there. It doesn't take it away. But again, it doesn't all have to happen at once either. It's not just I have to lose 15 pounds in 6 weeks. You know, it didn't take you probably 6 weeks to put it on, so it's not going to take you 6 weeks sometimes to take it off. So you really have to go, how am I going to adapt this into my life? And then that just, again, it becomes your new norm after a while. Once you practice and you keep doing it over and over, you know, it almost just becomes second nature.
Good advice. Thanks. Yeah, nutrition is my downfall. Exercise isn't, but
Yeah, it's I would say, honest to God, probably 90% of people say go exercising. I like it, I can do it, but it's between the ears and the things that I eat, and especially during all the lockdown stuff. I mean, you're just literally trapped in your house with food all day. So what is your source of enjoyment? What is your source of stress relief, of a break? Because people tend to keep going to the kitchen, and even when they're not hungry, they're just out of boredom. But that's the key. When you do fill up on protein and things like that, it's going to keep you full for a longer period of time. You'll notice if you have a bowl of cereal or, you know, let's say a bagel, a very carbohydrate, starchy something, your body tends to break it down and burn it off very, very quickly. And then you're usually hungry, you know, an hour or two later. When you're filling up on proteins and healthy fats, it takes your body a longer time to break that down. So you're actually going to be full for a longer period of time. So that's why I say your major meals, get the proteins in first. If you're still hungry, then, you know, keep loading up on the greens. You can have a little bit of carbohydrates as long as you're burning them off. And that's going to help out a lot too. But making food that you like, that you enjoy, that you're familiar with. So every time you cook, it's not like, oh my God, I got to learn this recipe or learn this. I'm a big fan of just keeping it short and sweet. I know, like in our house, we'll make a big thing of ground turkey and super easy. Just put some seasoning on it, put it in a big Tupperware thing. And then all week I'll make turkey wraps. I'll make lettuce wraps. I'll make a salad and sprinkle it on there. So you're always getting a little bit of protein. It becomes mindless. Even if you're just hungry, you need a quick snack, I'll have a little thing of turkey, or we'll make a big thing of turkey chili, put that inside the garage fridge, and then we got lunch covered, we got dinner covered. If I need a snack, that's there. But just Sunday, I usually just try to cook as much stuff as I can, just because I know myself, if we have 2 daughters, and if it's there and it's available, I will always eat it. So if it's healthy, I'll do the exact same thing. So I just make sure, okay, have something quick, easy, healthy, ready to go. Otherwise I'll steal a Pop-Tart or steal a fruit snack or whatever it is. And then, by Friday, you're like, good God, I've had 10 fruit snacks this week, and the kids haven't eaten any of these.
Yep, same with me.
Yeah. We're all human.
Yeah.
Even as trainers, we do it too.
Some trainers I know eat worse than I do, and I thought I had a bad diet.
No, we're all human beings. We have the same temptations as everybody else. It's just we really got to make sure that we're on our P's and Q's, just because we got to take care of ourselves to be able to do what we do.
What in the nut family is a good protein? Is it almond?
Almonds are great. Cashews, peanuts. What you want to really make sure is, not that they're bad, but it's the too much of one thing is always a bad thing. So while nuts are healthy for you, they have a lot of healthy fats. They're also very high in calories. So I've gotten like a thing of trail mix. You've seen in like the big bags. And I swear, just from being on the computer all day and working, and I'll get a handful, and I'll get a handful, and I'll get a handful. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, I have eaten 950 calories of trail mix today. So if you do get it, just be mindful. A couple handfuls a day just to keep your blood sugar going, and so you get some protein and healthy fat in is absolutely okay. But just watch out, because they are high in calories as well.
But not the whole bag at one time.
Not the whole bag. I've made up that. I've done that several times. But it's just mindless, and it's there, and you're like, oh, these are somewhat healthy. I'll sneak one, and then by the end you go, oh my God, I've eaten this entire thing. So a little bit here and there, a few handfuls a day, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, not that you can't have just one potato chip.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing.
Well, is there anything else?
I think I covered all my notes with you guys, unless you guys got something else.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation. It's a fun little break in the middle of today.
Oh, I know. This is one of those things where I'm a nerd like this. I can talk about this stuff for hours on end. So if you guys want me to talk your ear off, I will. But if you don't want to hear anymore, I understand as well.
No, it's better than what I have sitting on my desk that I need to do. So.
Well, thank you, Corey. We really appreciate your seminar for today. And like I said, this will be up on our YouTube channel and through social media. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye.
Awesome.
For real this time?
Yes.
She wants to get in her trail mix.
I know. All the trail mix talk, it's